Ladies and gentlemen,
tighten your seatbelt as we take you on this smooth ride.
Let's go! It's the morning drive on 103.5 Ebona DFM, keeping your morning engaging as we take you through the smoothest ride on radio.
From 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
Getting your morning inspired, be informed, let's interact only on the morning drive.
Make it a date with Martin Efanshuku, aka Meta.
And the train, aka Classy.
From Monday to Friday, from 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
On the morning drive.
103.5 Ebona DFM. Good morning and welcome to Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Today, the 9th. Today is Friday, and the time is a minute past the hour of 7. It's time for newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news, making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers. But before we do that, let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines. Please stay with us.
You know that you have the right to quality broadcasting. The National Broadcasting Commission says any person, group of persons, or organization aggrieved by the content of a broadcast or the conduct of a broadcast station lodge a complaint to the station and all right to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 20, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asokoro, Abuja, or send a mail via info@nbc.gov.ng. Please ensure that the content includes name of the broadcast station, title of the program, date and time of broadcast, and essence of the complaint. Also, remember to include your name, address, telephone number, email, and append your signature. Note that a complaint must reach the NBC within 14 days of the queried broadcast. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting.
You're welcome back to newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news, making the headlines on The Guardian newspaper, Leadership, Punch, Vanguard, Daily Post, The Sun, The Nation, and this day newspaper. If time permits, we're also going to take a look at Nigerian Tribune. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080-96661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we're live at Ebona, the 103.5 FM. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. I am Martin. Let's get started with the Guardian newspaper this morning. Labour intensifies pressure, gives federal government 14 days to address hardship. Rivers men facing terrorism charges challenge jurisdiction of Abuja court. Federal government targets more revenue from betting, plans new tax regime. Pressure mounts on tobacco firms over health concerns. Lamido warns of disaster if Tinubu fails to act immediately, deal with insecurity urgently. Go on. CSN tell Tinubu. NMPCL, CBN sale pact on crude remittance. Nigerians are suffering. Ohaneze tells Tinubu. Fashola wants constitution review to allow states determine minimum wage. Women farmers deny receiving 15 trillion naira agri intervention. Tinubu flags off construction of renewed Hope City. Ndume urges CBN to focus on monetary stability, inflation, not relocation. Reps to tighten defamation laws amid Bajabiamila's 3 billion naira COVID-19 fund allegation. Federal government deploys troops to tackle bandits, others in Ekiti. Hunger protests. Nigeria sitting on a time bomb. Reinstate NSIP now to reduce hardship. About revolution. Activists urges Tinubu. Government orders release of 102,000 metric tons of rice, maize. Government orders release of 102,000 metric tons of rice, maize. Test processes on PDP Secretariat. George orders Showumi. ECOWAS foreign ministers meet to resolve Senegal, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger crisis. Nigerians are suffering. Ohaneze tells Tinubu we've taken this. Oil theft. Army uncovers 2 bunkering sites in Rivers, Abia. Court orders DSS to pay driver 5 million naira for unlawful detention. Lagos to become top 5 in Africa with best healthcare system by 2052, says Commissioner Guba Pose. Faduyi vows to create modern Ondo as governor. Abducted 14 transport firms passengers. 2 drivers regain freedom. Pensioners have proposed 100,000 naira monthly pension. MTN, Glo settle rift as NCC withdraws disconnection notice. Insecurity. Southwest Security Group condemns killing of 3 monarchs. Dawn alleges governors sabotaging Tinubu's government. Australia. Africa Business Summit holds in Melbourne. Oil theft. Labaja applauded on tackling bunkers, vandals. Civil society organizations kick against planned office allocation. Staff executive powers to FEMA board members. Nigerian Nursing Council demands 2 years experience for overseas practice. Olani Bekun tax law students on pathway to success. Hunger protest. Reps Speaker Abbas pledges imports of essential food items. UNICEF, World Bank, others wealthy Nigerians on success of school feeding program. Federal government set up in ministerial committee to address gas supply challenges. Federal government set up inter-ministerial committee to address gas supply challenges. LASEPA seals 250 firms in 3 months for environmental offenses. Edo Guba, primaries must hold within the state. INEC tells parties. Tinubu directs mandatory recitation of national anthem pledge at official engagements. Reps write Tinubu seek urgent support for Tantita. Veterinary Council provides solution to food security. Tinubu Kwara applauded over moves to conduct a hitch-free digital census. Kola Jamudu joins a privileged club of octogenarians. Cleric seeks divine intervention amid Nigeria. Women innovate. Tip education as solution to climate crisis. AHF Nigeria raises awareness on condom use ahead of Valentine's Day. Nigeria joins USA, Europe, Asia to launch TRC for port efficiency. Olani Beku charges University of Abuja law students on pathway to success. Nigeria troops arrest suspected ransom carrier, notorious gun runner in Taraba. Edo 2024, INEC receives a primary election schedules from 16 political parties. Flutterwave gets order to recover 19 billion naira from POS merchants. NMPC, CBN agreed to enhance smoother commercial operations. Abu gets ultimatum to provide evidence for bribery allegations against Justice Domban Mensem. LASEPA seals 250 organizations in 3 months for environmental offenses. NAFDAC arrests 3 hawkers, seizes substandard drugs worth 250,000 naira in Kaduna. Veterinary Council advocates transformative potential approach to improve food security in Nigeria. That's the much we can take from the Guardian newspaper this morning. From the Guardian newspaper, we'll flip over to Leadership newspaper. Reps want National Assembly Commission building named after NABA. Reps want National Assembly Commission building named after NABA. Gombe Top Socioeconomic Performance Index gets AAA rating. Stakeholders seek collective action against insecurity in Northeast. 2.7 million Nigerians displaced by flood. Others commission. Senate dismisses threats. Insists CNG funds probe. Saul taking ECOWAS from frying pan to fire. Civil society organizations makes case for planned digital census. Tinubu orders release of 102,000 metric tons of grains to lower high cost of food. Army discovers another illegal refinery with 5 million liters capacity in Rivers. Army discovers another illegal refinery with 5 million liters capacity in Rivers. FAAN bans government agencies, protocol officers from airports. Court orders federal government to fix price of goods in 7 days. ECOWAS, African Union move to bring back Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger to regional bloc. APC chieftain, Cairo, Ojubo, slumps, dies. Insecurity, give traditional rulers role. Civil society organization tells Tinubu, we are removing hurdles to swift business activities in Rivers, Fubara. Peace urgently needed for progress in Southeast, Kalo. Beware of political miscreants. Civil society organizations advise EFCC boss. Transmission of election results underway as electoral bill scales second reading. House of Reps probe ban on sachet alcoholic drinks. AFCON, avoid watching football if hypertensive, doctors warns. NMPCL, CBN partner to deepen relationship, guarantee seamless commercial operation. Forest crisis, importers dump Nigerian ports for Cotonou, Togo. Benin Republic's $750 million debut euro-bound oversubscribed by 566%. Benin Republic's $750 million debut euro-bound oversubscribed by 566%. Senate demands details on 100 billion naira gas project funds. BOI, Bank of Industries, to disburse 200 billion naira to support businesses. That's the much we can take from the Leadership newspaper this morning. From the Leadership newspaper, we'll flip over to the Punch newspaper. Nwoko expresses concern on fate of Nigerian youths. 6 Lagos traders arraigned for assaulting actress Liz Anjorin. 6 traders arraigned for assaulting actress Liz Anjorin. 14 abducted Abuja-bound travelers regain freedom. Fear of disease outbreak grips Delta community over water pollution. 16 parties to contest Edo poll. 302 murder cases, 172 abductions are recorded in 3 months. Police. Master bakers announce increase in bread price in Rivers. Fubara inspects 20,000 housing projects, once saboteurs. Judge orders court papers service on PDP share. No blessing for same-sex unions, says Catholic bishops. Government orders 100,000 metric tons of grains, release 1 orders. Governments, we've taken this. Security agencies must justify allocations. Reps. Man, 32, bag life imprisonment for raping 4-year-old in Akwa Ibom. Food crisis. Amnesty. Sultan demand Niger protesters released. Tackling water pollution takes center stage in Edo workshop. No regrets. Criticizing FAAN CBN department's relocation. Ndume. Delta Riverside community names journalist as development committee chair. Army uncovers massive rivers. Abia illegal refineries. Delta gets new police commissioner. Empower CBN to act autonomously. National Association of Nigerian Students urges federal government. Ex-youth leader debunks of destruction houses in Bayelsa community. Ex-youth leader debunks destruction of houses in Bayelsa community. Foundation gives students laptops, counsels on good hygiene. Current school curricula inadequate to tackle future challenges, says Akwa Ibom lawmaker. Don't watch AFCON final if you are hypertensive. Osun ex-commissioner. I won't tolerate sabotage against my government. Fubara warns. Social media must be regulated, says Bajabiamila. Ogun sales reps dies watching Nigeria, South Africa match. Anambra born businessman dies watching Nigeria, South Africa match in Ivory Coast. World Bank pledges increased economic support for Nigeria. Tinubu mandates recitation of national pledge at public events. Osun Assembly recalls suspended local government chairman. Glo, MTN resolve interconnect debt dispute. And that's the much we can take from the Punch newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning from the Punch newspaper, I will flip over to Vanguard newspaper. 15 BSN Founders Day. Seek advice on security matters. Gowon tells Tinubu. Education with tears. Hardship creating more indigent students. The civilian coups in Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, and ECOWAS ambivalence. Rape. I took 4 bottles of beer, 6 sticks of cigarettes, suspects. Naira depreciates to 1,500 naira per dollar in parallel market. Senate uncovers $400 million intervention funds in banks. Blackout. Power, Petroleum Resources Ministries set up committee to resolve gas shortage. Police arraign 6 for attacking Nollywood actress Lizzie. 2 dead. 2 hospitalized in Kogi community after taking herbal concussion. What football teaches Nigerians about unity? Education with tears. We've taken this. World Bank pledges to step up financial support to Nigeria. Ojubo. 4 others die watching Super Eagles Bafana AFCON semi-final match. We feel your pain. We will stand by you, Speaker Abbas begs Nigerians. 12 new reps members take oath of office. Abia court adjourns Senator Orji's 1.5 billion naira defamation suit against Abugo. Akeredodo's death will boost my chances of becoming Ondo governor, Jimo Ibrahim. Beta Edu, corruption allegations against Bajabiamila baseless, Speaker Abbas. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Police arrest drug peddlers, recover drugs, ammunition in Lagos. How I was lured by Fulani herdsman into kidnapping, U.S. returnee, trader. How I was lured by Fulani herdsmen into kidnapping U.S. returnees, trader. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. CBN clamps down on banks, pegs trade assets in forest. Femi Otedola appointed as chairman FBN Holdings. And that's the much we can take from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. From the Vanguard newspaper, we'll flip over to Daily Post newspaper. Reinstate NSIP amid rising hunger. Nationwide protest. Adeyanju tells Tinubu, hardship, don't embark on strike. Tinubu government begs NLC, TUC. Save us from incessant headers attacks. Ogbomosho farmers appeal to sound. Pray disconnection notice. Glow, MTN resolves interconnect debt dispute. Tinubu marks recitation of national pledge mandatory at official engagements. Governor Fintri bans ferrying of building materials to Cameroon. 2024 Hajj, Edo records full payment from 123 intending pilgrims. Niger Delta communities asked to remove Niger Delta Development Commission Chairman Ebi. Reps to strengthen libel, slander laws in Nigeria. Federal government orders immediate release of 102,000 metric tons of rice, maize. Governor Rada directs unwilling recently recruited Castina teachers to resign. Niger government orders release of protest mastermind Aisha Jibrin, 24 rioters. And that's the much we can take from the Daily Post newspaper this morning. From the Daily Post newspaper, we'll flip over to the Sun newspaper. Tinubu Kalu Akpabio, governor, mourn as Asaba Ojukwu die. PFN to Tinubu declares state of emergency on security. Tinubu directs immediate release of 102,000 metric tons of food items. Food crisis. Solution in sight. Federal government assures as Presidential Food Committee meets. Protests in Niger, Kano. Opposition's plot to instigate violence against federal government. APC. Be patient with economic policies of Tinubu, Wike begs Nigerians. Edo, INEC confirms primaries notification dates from 16 political parties. Why Tinubu should release Nnamdi Kanu. Wala, President, ADF. Reps and challenges of electoral reforms. Tinubu's renewed hope has turned to renewed anger. Ex-APC National Working Committee member thoughts federal government. Prove you don't hate Esaland. Group urges Oshomole. Domestic airlines dying. AON laments. Akpo, Westfield to boost Nigeria's daily oil production by 14,000 barrels. NMPCL Limited. NCAA frustrating aviation sector growth. Akande Bellagio Airlines CEO. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Sun newspaper this morning. Fans win big with Goldberg, Live and Zag in Super Eagles win. Mwabali, secret behind my form. Doubtful disbursement of 40 trillion naira allocation to local governments. Foreign airlines, trapped funds. Nigeria's ranking in new corruption index. AFCON 2023, Truce Ekong dreams of lifting trophy. Philanthropist gives hope to out-of-school children. Smart teaching would improve Nigeria's education system, ODECA, Standard Brain Academy proprietor. And that's the much we can take from the Sun newspaper this morning. From the Sun newspaper, we'll flip over to the Nation newspaper. JNI asks federal government, states to rescue Nigerians from hardship. APM terminals to invest $500 million in Apapa Port. Inspector General of Police, 172 cases of kidnapping recorded within 7 weeks. TVC's Your View Pidgin to premiere tomorrow. Igbo, not lazy, says Deputy Speaker Carlo. They died watching Nigeria South Africa march. Abbas swears in 12 new House members. House wants uniform for security agencies made locally. Edo poll. INEC announces dates for APC, PDP, Labour Party, 13 others primaries. Why social media must be regulated by federal government. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Nation newspaper this morning. Tinubu restates commitment to provide affordable, decent housing. Anambra billionaire's death throws community into confusion. Police arraign 6 for allegedly assaulting Lizzie at January in Lagos market. Benue records 4,000 gender-based violence cases. No crisis between me and Oyetola, says Bashiru. 8 African legends who didn't win AFCON. 8 African legends who didn't win AFCON. Tension as 6 die in Osun court clash. Tinubu directs release of 102,000 metric tons of food items. Governors plan measures to address hardship, insecurity, boost forest insecurity. Southwest Security Group condemns killings of 3 Obas, vows to resist further attacks. That's the much we can take from the Nation newspaper this morning. From the Nation newspaper, we'll flip over to This Day newspaper. Marion Sheila Johnson funeral holds in Lagos today. NMPC, movement of our accounts to CBN won't hinder operations. CBN bars banks, others from reference unaudited accounts in sales promotion. CBN bars banks, others from referencing unaudited accounts in sales promotion. World Bank, Edun seeks more concessional financing for Africa. Rising cost of food. Federal government orders a release of 102,000 tons of rice, maize, millet, gari. World Bank, Edun seeks more concessional financing for Africa. Federal government sets up committee to address gas to power challenges. MTN, Globalcom amicably resolve interconnect debt issue, says NCC. Labour gives federal government 14-day ultimatum to implement agreements on wage award. ECOWAS seeks unity among member states, says Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger's exit hasty. As MPA moves to commence 24 hours port operation, FAANMD calls for streamlining of security checks at airports. Untapped agricultural produce export business. Abuja is good enough. Makinde and the tirade against Atiku. Obaseki support for Igadalo faces threat. King Charles diagnosed with cancer, says Buckingham Palace. Abducted wife of murdered para monarch rescued. Court gives federal government 7 days to fix prices of foodstuff, petroleum products, others. And that's the much we can take from this day newspaper this morning. You are listening to newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. We'll now go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian Tribune. Please stay with us.
Country people, another wonderful opportunity don't land for you to secure your own landed property for better location with small money before price go carry you go where you don't know. This one na legit info from the stables of Robin Fave Concept Limited. I know say you don't sabi that name by now. Robin Fave Concept Limited now big name for this real estate business. We get the track record and we dey deliver for everything we talk. Now we bring it, and people when sabi levels don't buy them finish. But no worry, because land no dey finish. And our work now to direct you go where you go get the best value for your money. This time, we don't carry and come your domot with the brand new Golden City Garden Estate, Otulu, just 2 minutes from Akuku Igbo local government secretariat. This one now confirm premium estate when you forget with small money, one no go turn your eye at all. Just 350,000 naira for one plot inside our special promo when they on now, from now till 2 weeks time. This estate dey for Otulu off Asaba Benin Expressway, just 2 minutes from Asaba Housing Estate and 5 minutes from Wichtech Group of Companies. Golden City Garden Estate dey for good location when be say na only 20 minutes e go take from Coca Junction flyover, 10 minutes from Asaba International Airport, and e no far from the express route. For inside Golden City Garden Estate, you go enjoy light and water 247. The environment clean and the day serene for you and your family with good road network and street light go dey shine for every corner. You no go worry about security because solid fence dey around the estate and security men when them train wella go man the gate 247. On top that one, recreational center dey for your maximum relaxation. Wetin you dey wait for? Waka come Robin Fave Concept Limited office make you collect your own plot inside the brand new Golden City Garden Estate. Because special promo dey on now, and for this promo season, you go get 464 square meters of land when be 50 by 100, one floor for only 350,000 naira. This promo now for only 2 weeks. So no dull yourself. With only 350k, you don't become landlord inside this correct estate for we capital city. Call us today for 081 68 32 2403. That is 081 68 32 2403. I say 081 68 32 2403. Once you pay, we go allocate your land, give you sharply, plus give you deed of assignment, register survey plan, and government approved decision. When go show say even government confirm what we do, you no get anything to worry about. Now we the runner. If you no get all the money to pay, small for the one where they call installment payment plan, well then at 3 months. 6 months, or even 12 months, as long as you no go turn your eye, better payment plan day for you to choose. Take advantage of this special promo when they on now unto say one plot of land, 464 square meters, now only 350,000 naira. Because once this promo ends, the price will increase more, and the promo now just 2 weeks. Secure the future for you and your family. Buy your own land today. Make yourself become landlord inside the new Golden City Garden Estate, Otulu, when be only 2 minutes from Akuku Igbo Local Government Secretariat. Come our office when they inside Jimok Petrol Station, Kilometer 8 at Sabah Benin Expressway at Sabah, Delta State. Or call us on top 081 68 32 2403. That is 081 68 32 2403. I say 081 68 32 2403. Now, Robin Faith Concept Limited, they develop Golden City Garden Estate.
Ndị be anyị steeti gọvanọ ndị Monarch Events and Promotions na-akpọ ha n'eze ka ha bịa were anya ha hụ ndị otu ọgbọ ndị Naijiria ji eme ọnụ na asọmpi kara aka nke a kpọrọ The Lion Heart and the Champion Homecoming. Asọmpi ga-adị n'etiti ndị otu ọgbọ ndị Naijiria na ọtụtụ ndị mba ọzọ ga-etinye bụ ọnụọgụgụ dị iche iche. N'afọ Nnobi Idemili South Local Government Area Anambra State bụ Victor Bennett, onye gara akụ ọkpọ na Ghana wee tụrụ ugo mmeri wee lọta, ga-akụ ọkpọ live n'ụbọchị ahụ ya na onye ogbo ya bụ Queen Diego onye Egwuado. Bịa nye anya nke ọ na-eri ndị Afrịka ndị welitere isi n'igwe egwu ga-anọ ya live, tinyere ndị kọmedian ndị ga-emego obi ụtọ. Ọtụtụ ndị welitere isi na mba ụwa dị iche n'iche ga-anọkwa ya. Anyị pụtara n'igwe ụbọchị Satọde bụ 17 February n'afọ 2024 ka anyị kwado ha n'ogige International Conference Center Ọka, Anambra State ka ọ ga-akpọtụ ya bụ gbasịkwa ndị ya ajụ ụlọ. North Bice Foods and Beverages Limited Nnobi na-akwado isi ya.
You're welcome back to Newspaper Headlines on Airborne at 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080-96661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we are live at Airborne at 103.5 FM. Drop your comments on the comment section of the live video. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. We are on to the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. YouTube Music and Premium hits 100 million subscribers, embracing diverse music genres, including Afrobeats. Glo MTN resolve interconnect debt dispute. Reps tax federal government to implement global standards on national policy on education. Reps to probe FCTA over decline of infrastructure. Food hike. Niger government orders release of protest organizer Aisha Jibrin. 24 others. The Sahel Exodus, implications of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger leaving ECOWAS. How interest, inflation, FX rates will affect Nigeria's GDP growth in 2024. 10 Nigerians who have won Grammy Awards. Experts list drugs which bitter cola makes ineffective. Sokoto Governor's Special Advisor Buhari Shahabi resigns. Federal government IOM evacuates 34,694 stranded Nigerian migrants from Chad, Libya, others. Tuition fees hike. National Association of Nigerian Students draws battle line against tertiary institutions. House Speaker urges patience amid rising prices, promises relief within government policies. House Speaker urges patience amid rising prices, promises relief with government policies. Insecurity. Inspector General of Police holds strategic meeting with senior police officers. Late Obi Edozian Culture Business Powerhouse Buhari. Late Obi Edozian Culture Business Powerhouse Buhari. Reps want National Assembly Commission complex named after ex-speaker Naba. Tinubu, Sanwo-Olu harp on relevance of data in policy formulation. Still on the stories making headlines on the Nigerian Tribune this morning, Fintri bans shipping, transportation of building materials to neighboring countries. 2024 Hajj, NAHCON chairman secures passport availability for pilgrims. Cairo, Ojubo, Akpabio, Ali Modu, Sherif, others condole with family, address inflation, poverty, insecurity, food crisis. JNI tells government, reps set to upgrade safety, security architecture. NMPP will succeed in 2027. Eve, party chieftain, Oguntoyi. Governor Oborowore mourns Cairo, Ojubo. Oyo government begins disbursement of 327 million loan to crop farmers. Others, civil society organization seeks Tinubu's intervention on crisis rocking farmer. Oshun Willing House dispose Oba elect can take from the Nigerian Tribune this morning. That will also mark the conclusion of all that we have for you on this particular edition of newspaper headlines on Airborne at the 103.5 FM. But we'll now flip over to our WhatsApp portal to bring you reactions this morning. From our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message is coming from Comrade Manli Oduago from Odumobosi, and it says, be it known that 70% of the Nigerian populace lives in abject poverty. This is paradoxical in a country that is richly blessed with human and natural resources, tapped and untapped. This is a situation that should be unacceptable to the more affluent for some related reason. On the one hand, it affronts our sense of common humanity, while it undermines international security as poverty engenders violence and revolt. On the other hand, for sure, enlightened self-interest dictates that poverty should be alleviated. The time is right for the president and his economic team to squarely deal with those factors that engenders poverty for a better Nigeria. May God see us through our numerous urgent stumbles. Comrade Manli Oduago from Odumobosi, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message is coming from Agonabo. He's joining us from Ofa Aguluzibo, and he says, Ohaneze Ndibo. He said, good morning, Ohaneze Ndibos they've woken up and realized that there is hunger in town. And he says, I have turned masses into angry lions. And for insecurities and Nigeria, where they were, where were they when insecurity was on the increase and now is getting out of hand? And we are now looking for experts and well-trained officers to tackle it. Is laughable and prophecy fulfilled. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It's coming from Junedu Oneka, pastor, and he says, for me, I don't think I will watch AFCON final to avoid high BP. And I also want to use this opportunity to advise fellow Nigerians not to watch the final match with emotions. Football is a game and should be watched with sportsmanship spirit. Finally, I want to commiserate with the families of the deceased who died while watching the match between South Africa and Nigeria. They actually love their country, and I suggest that they deserve a national burial for dying as a patriotic Nigerians. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message is coming from Comrade Ibudu from Abagan, and he says, may the souls of the people who lost their lives during the Nigerian-South Africa match rest in peace. However, it is better to abstain from such match, being capable of taking life, death, or maybe you have a heart problem, but still you can get the result at the end. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Comrade Ibudu from Abagan. We have a message. It is coming from Oguchuku from Umuabana, Umuabalishi Kingdom, and it says, NLC, TUC strike is laughable and is not trusted to NLC chairman. NLC have failed Nigerians. It is a rubber stamp and induced NLC. And he says the strike will not see the light of the day. And Nigerians is under economic crisis. There is hunger in our land. More hardship is deepening in Nigeria. And he says kidnapping is a lucrative business and nothing federal government is doing to ameliorate it for free movement of the people. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message is coming from Waloto Patrick from Monteja, and he says it is good that Labour issued a 14-day ultimatum to federal government to meet her demands of its industrial strike. But the question is whether the Labour has the strong will to embark on the proposed strike and to sustain it. Going by the antecedents of Labour in the recent past, you will discover that an average Nigerian worker has lost his or her trust on Labour. So the onus is on Labour to do this time around so as to regain her past glory among Nigerian workers. He said also, I vehemently oppose Fubara's proposal that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria should be amended so as to allow states to determine minimum wage in the country. Statistics have shown that all states in the country are not equal in terms of resources. So if you ask governors to pay minimum wage according to their resources, you will be surprised that some governors will tell you that their states are poor, and as a result, they will not be able to pay 1 to 10 of what others are paying. And by that time, you will discover that many workers in many states will be living in abject poverty. This one is coming from Waloto Patrick from Monteja. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message. It's coming from Chiki Obata from Obini Titi Okozu, and it says, thank God that everyone in Nigeria, both all political parties, are noticing the hardship and much hunger in this country now. And it says, let federal government and President Tinubu save us in this situation now. Yes, from renewed hope to renewed hunger. Tinubu and others, it may concern should, okay, your concern, you should release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. May the soul of those people that died on February 7 during the march between Super Eagles of Nigeria and Bafana of South Africa rest in peace. Amen. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It is coming from Paul Imuizu from Onitsha, and it says NNPC said they are not ready to increase the pump price of fuel, diesel, etc. is a joke. What is the price of cooking gas today? They are deceiving Nigerians. God will save us. And he said, Paul Imuizu from Onitsha. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It's coming from Chris, and he says, Labour gives federal government 14 days to do something to address the present situation of this country. This sounds ridiculous and absurd because the group has shown us that it has no power to do anything against the federal government. Labour wants its voice to be heard and nothing more. Therefore, it is better for the group to go and sleep like a weak toothless dog. And he continued and said, insecurity give traditional rulers rule. This statement has shown that our leaders have nothing to offer when it comes to the security of this country. When you see two fighters start throwing sand at each other, you know that both of them are tired. Our leaders have no power to control the present situation of this country, only focus on how to embezzle our money. Nnamdi Kanu must be released. And he says, I want to tell those people that are behind the procrastination of the court case of Nnamdi Kanu that there is nothing any person born of a woman can do to stop the release of Nnamdi Kanu unless the person wants to see the other side of. And he continued and said, if Nnamdi Kanu dies in DSS dungeon, okay. And he continued and says, police should stop having their futile meetings against the insecurity that has eaten this country to her marrow. Everyday meeting. What have they achieved from the previous ones they had before? This one. Okay, and he says they should go and okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It's coming from Valentine Edene from Mumpo. And he says Nigeria court must be a joker. Okay, and he says the area they have right to fix price is on fuel or any other goods imported by government, not on spare parts imported by individual with high rates of importation fee at wharf. Mr. Tinubu removed subsidy without flexible importation, without lifting embargo on rice and others, but talking about food security all the time. Woe to mother, and he continued and says, in addition to these, African leaders need to be oriented just to expound born to rule mentality in their minds. It brings downfall of the country. A good leader must be patriotic. Anyone who does not love or who is not ready to defend his country is not qualified to be a president. Coup in many countries in Africa because of bad leadership. Wake up, Africa. And for Nigerians, hunger will wake us up to stand for our rights. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Valentine. Then we will now flip over to our SMS portal to bring you more reactions. From our SMS portal this morning, we have this message. It's coming from the boss from Okozu, and it says Lagos to become best medical center in 2052. Will they be alive to witness this? Let's stop all these. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. The boss from Okozu. Now we have this one that says it is coming from Umweri and SKG Umweri Okebo. Ekobo City. Okay, now it says, okay, thank you so much for the encouragement, my brother. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this man. It is coming from Austin Ezewaka from Umunachi, and it says Super Eagles are set to win their 4th AFCON titles. Let us pray firmly and earnestly for them to achieve this aim. As I can see, it will be a do or die affair. It cannot be so easy, but I believe that God will still answer my prayer for them. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Austin Ezewaka. We have this message. It's coming from Aja from Odume, and it says, let the federal government and so-called APC fix Nigeria the way they met it and forget sentiment. We are tired of these jargons. Okay, and it's okay. Aja from Odume. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It's coming from Honorable Onyedika Osakwe, and it says, since the federal government cannot boast of any functional refinery, why not to take over and develop these so-called illegal refineries that are being destroyed? Stories coming out on daily basis is enough to cause hypertension to the citizenry. The NLC and TUC threat of embarking on a strike is only but to make Nigerians to be angry. Those there is nobody that can rescue Nigeria from its present predicament apart from God's intervention. Even Abuja, as their capital, has turned to become a battlefield. How can we fold our hand and the treasures left by our forefathers will be taken away from us? Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Darlington Rochuku says court gives giving Tinubu 7 days to fix good prices of goods. Now you have forgotten you sold Nigeria to Tinubu. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It's coming from Onyedika Osakwe, and it says, is it this maize that has just been released that the federal government is going to capitalize on to curb the inferno that is about to consume the nation? The nation has not witnessed such before. Okay, thank you so much for joining us again, Honorable Onyedika Osakwe. We have this message. It says, may the soul of the soul of the Nigerians that died during Nigerian and South African march rest in the Lord. It is coming from Wingate Ikechukwu Nwakeze from Okozo. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And now we flip over to our Facebook portal. We have a message coming from Chinwoba Ume, and it says, let them release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally, for he did nothing to Nigeria but saying the truth. But the people who eat from calamity and quagmire of our love of our country will not allow it to be. They only pretend as if they don't know what to do. Is deception. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And on our WhatsApp portal, we have this message. It's coming from Obiora from Okozu, and it says, federal government will regulate social media. Federal government did not regulate joblessness, hunger, and poverty in Nigeria. Federal government did not regulate insecurities and corruption in Nigeria, rather concerned to regulate social media to cover their impunity, because social media is exposing the evil that our leaders are committing. As Buhari tried to regulate talking, called it hate speech to cover his own makings. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message is coming from Kenneth Ndubisoka from Omoezo Munachi, and it says court gives federal government 7 days to fix food prices is unrealistic. Instead of court to tell federal government to stabilize dollar, reduce fuel price, increase the salary of workers, and fix economy of Nigeria, and by doing so, the price of food commodities will come down. Court orders to federal government is like treating symptom instead of what caused the symptom. Kenneth Ndubisoka from Omoezo Munachi, thank you so much for joining us this morning. This is the spot where we'll call it a day on this particular edition of Newspaper Headlines on Airborne Ade 103.5 FM. Remember, it comes your way weekdays in the morning once it's 7 o'clock, so keep a date. And don't touch the dial of Airborne Ade 103.5 FM once it's 8:20 this morning. We'll be back with Birthday Splash. Till we meet again, I am Martin. Have a wonderful weekend and a beautiful morning.
Can we talk about the challenges we are having on our streets, our community, our society in general? Street report. If we do not address these challenges on Airborne FM, who will? As the happenings around us get as complicated as they can be.
Our government, whatever.
Street report is here to make sense of it all. Street report is causing social change across your streets. Your community. Street report is here with hardcore journalism to get to the roots of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin number the first every Friday, 4:30 p.m. on Airborne 103.5 FM as Street Reports unfolds
In your face.
on Martin Airborne the corner
24/7, 24/7.
Man is a political animal. That's why we all have our views on politics. Political View comes to you at Airborne 103.5 FM with Martin every Monday, 3 o'clock p.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It's all about the day-to-day activities in the Nigerian political space. Views of political